but intensified from the better part of last year and then this year as well, for which the government constantly is in a state of denial. Yeah. I think that this is also many consumers. Piano, a song composing it for Doomso with a ball of banku, just in front of the camera while he tries to piece together some words.
Yeah.
And there are many others also on TikTok as well. It epitomizes the frustration that consumers are going, or Ghanaians are going through.
It does indeed. And if you go on social media, on Twitter, to be precise, and Doomso now is trending. And I saw that John Dumelo had tweeted that he's happy that that hashtag is trending because he had posted it. And I think everybody has jumped on. But it's not because he posted it. I think Ghanaians are just frustrated. They've had it. I mean, if you can't fix the problem, give us a timetable. Let us know when to expect our lights to stay on and go off so we can plan accordingly. That's all we're asking of ECG and whoever is in charge as well. And so if you cannot do that for us, then, I mean, you're leaving us in a very dire situation and we're going to have to demand it one way or the other. If we're paying for our electricity, because you said that we weren't paying, so you migrated us onto the prepaid for a lot of people. Now we're paying before we even consume, and that is also a problem. And you're not telling us exactly what the problem is, especially when PRC has come out to say that if you claim that 630 of your transformers needed to be replaced or maintained, which is why those Doomso, that was I mean, that was not factual. And so if that's the case, what are you doing about the situation?
Certainly.
And that's all we're asking.
Very frustrating. And we'll be talking about that also on big issues, and also looking at its effect on the downside of the economy. And then also Dr. Kofiama, a known entrepreneur, used to own a financial institution right here, also posting about the sins of the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And also we'll try and look at that, whether it's on the light-hearted side or the real issues. You look at the issues about corruption and etc. and the effects that it's having, and he talked about them as well. So we'll look at that. We also have some great issues, our contestants on PM Extra.
Yes, so it was officially launched on Saturday, where we got to see all contestants in this year's edition of PM Extra. And so they'll be stopping by the studios. You get to see them, get to know them. I've seen that a couple of them are trending already. In fact, we will go into the house just so we can speak to a number of them. Some are trending already.
Yeah,
you know, so
they've been trending since the night of yesterday.
Yeah,
and they're still in the trends. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're competing with Doomso hashtag.
You know, I'm wondering, so what happens in the reality house? Will the Doomso go off on them as well? And if it does, what could happen?
Transitional genset, so I guess it helps.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Generators are expensive now. And
the fuel.
Solar, exactly. And solar panels are even more expensive. Now you're needing like $5,000 or $10,000 to install solar panels.
Oh, you've asked the latest?
Oh, yes, yes. Well, they come and assess.
I was being given pressure from Friday.
They come and do an assessment in your home. And then they determine what exactly you need. $5,000, $10,000, at least you must pay that. We'll come to that anyway. But these are the contestants, and this is what happened on Saturday with AJ the host. This is PM Extra Season 2. And those are some of the contestants. I think she's called Rose. A few others. What's his name again? This is the masseuse. He says he gives very sensual massages.
Yeah,
so
I really love the contestants this time around. I
think there's been a
lot of finesse in there as well. Sophistry, I have to admit. Yeah, look at the fascinator. Beautiful. Charlie. Dashing.
Anyway.
Miss AJ.
So we'll go into the house and speak to the contestants. Look forward to that. But of course, it is streaming live on the PM Extra website. So please go ahead and check it out. You can watch them 24/7. Charge your phones ahead of time so that in case there's Doomso,
keep charging.
You can still watch it. But I think that's about. We don't have too much time. We would have given you the opportunity to speak to us about your Doomso situation at the moment. I mean, it's disastrous across
yes,
the board.
It is.
Yeah.
And if you look at what we need to generate, and you speak to individuals within the the generators or the generating sector, and then what they tell you about why they can't produce power, and you try to juxtapose that or link that with what officialdom is telling you, i.e. whether it's GradeCo or it is also the Electricity Company of Ghana, you see that they just don't sync. What really the reality is from the generators is there is no payment being made to them to enable them also offset their liabilities when it comes to gas or whatever fuels they're using to power their plants. So we have the capacity to be able to generate. It's just that we don't have the finances to buy the needed fuels to be able to generate. And that's at the heart of the conversation. We don't have to mince words about it. And I think that the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia have been very untruthful to the ordinary Ghanaian, and we are relating this falsity or the lies or the untruthfulness with what they told us when they were seeking for power from the ordinary Ghanaian. And sometimes when you go and express your frustrations, whether you're a journalist or somebody who is opinionated on social media, and they try to say that you're biased or whatever, it just doesn't sync with what the reality is. The truth is that what the president said, even at his inauguration, that citizens should be spectators, he really is not abiding by those principles. I mean, sending attack doors on people, etc., and clamping down and trying to discredit personalities. I think it is just very unsavory, uncivilized, and very surprising, coming from somebody like him and his people.
Well, I'm not surprised that that actually happens. I mean, we've seen that happen over time with every issue that we've raised alarm on. So I'm really not surprised. I am also equally disappointed in this government because they've refused to tell us the truth. So that we can all just prepare for the worst, if that's the case. I mean, I just saw a tweet where someone said, is it just him, or when the moment your lights go off, you suddenly feel depressed? It's like there's some spirit that's taken out of you, and it happens to the best of us. Just when your lights go off, that's when you realize how upset you are about the situation at the moment. But the question would be that, do we go private with, you know, with
the various entities within the sector?
Do we go private? And that's what the Otumfuo Asantini had also said. He thought that at this point, maybe we should just hand over to the private sector so they manage our power generation and distribution. What do you think about that?
It's a big argument. If you take a look at even the other sector, we're talking even telecom, and there's a constant debate with those who are the Ghanaian players, as well as those who are the leading Ghanaian I guess, experts in the sector, and they'll tell you that if any entity, consortium or investor comes into Ghana, whether they partner locals or international people, and they invest in a certain sector, they have to mop up the Ghana cedi and be able to have return on investment, and inversely or conversely try to translate that or change into USD or whatever currency for their shareholders. And I think that if you ask any Ghanaian investor today, whether they have money to invest in ECG, or let's say the transporter GradeCo, or the VRA or any of the IPPs which are of Ghanaian in terms of their shareholding, I don't think we can have that number of people who will be able to get that cash and invest here. Even if you get cash as a Ghanaian shareholder, you still have to get it at the international market. And it will also mean that by the time you're able to get some revenues and trying to turn out a profit, you wouldn't be able to give the right pricing to the ordinary consumer. And that's where the problem is. It is not that the subject itself is a wrong one or the proposition from the Asante is a wrong one. It's just that it's not possible. Looking at how we have tend to manage the economy in our lifetime. And that's a reality. I don't know. I don't think it's a very good argument. It is logically, but if you look at the metrics in economics, it makes a lot of sense. But the way we tend to manage the forex, and it's not possible. I say maybe we can put together a consortium and see whether we'll be very rich and then we'll stop this work.
We'll stop which work?
This one.
You're alone. You're alone on this one. I think he's watching you and shaking your head. It won't be a bad business though. Yeah, but
oh, you'll be home and dry.
Let's go to Johnny's Bites.
Okay.
Baby, I am critical. Let's cross over to Johnny's Bites, and of course, Roland will come your way with the big issue.
sa say men kai ama mi be bu ben kuare neuro sa say men kai ama mi be bu ben kuare sa say men kai min kuru man kai sa say men kai ama mi be bu ben kuare neuro sa say men kai ama mi be bu ben kuare Obin bremia siche Obin bremin tatie We be huno ben qui Every sad sa say min quai sa say min quai Ama mi bebu ben kuare nero sa say Ama min quai sa say min quai Ama mi bebu ben kuare nero sa say min quai Ama mi bebu ben kuare sa say min quai min kuru man quai